And so this is our boards training. So anyone new to our community is going to learn our onboarding system, and this is called our boards. So rewind back in February. So what, 11 months ago, 10 months ago, 9 months ago, I don't know, I can't do math. It's not my strong point. I put together this system, and it was kind of like an aha moment because I was on a Zoom with our regional manager. Once we're Jules, we get to have just meetings with them to kind of oversee things and collaborate and just be inspired. And so he kept reaching out to me, and I was like, I don't need to talk to you. You're kind of weird. But, anyways, this is actually Nick Clark, who is Alec Clark's son. I did not even know that when I met with him numerous times, but he kept saying to me, okay, Allie, like, you're doing great. You're doing great. Tell me your process. Can you tell me your process? And I was like, hmm, I can't. Like, I can't tell you what my process is. I feel like I was like ping pong girl. And I'd been here for a couple of years, but I was like, that needs to be a start because if I feel like a ping pong ball, that's why I can't go and tell someone how to start this clearly. And so he was like, we're going to put together a process. And I decided, okay, I'm going to try boards. I'm going to put it together because I know, like, I had things in notes, I had things in folders, I had things, albums of pictures, I had messages that I liked just saved randomly. Does anyone feel me? Like here, there, everywhere. And then it was like, oh God, it's time to invite to an event. I didn't know where my event content was. I had to go like find it. I was sending new people to like 3 different groups to find resources. And I was like, this is crazy. So, welcome boards. I am going to give you guys the full rundown. And if you've had them on your phone and you just are getting on for the refresher, there's actually been an update for boards where you have to pay if you have more than 3 boards. So what I did is I consolidated 3 things. Like I consolidated our links, message templates, our VIP process, and um, the welcome pack bundles all in one board. And that's the VIP process board. So you're going to delete your other boards of the single ones so that you don't have to pay. Like I pay for it, but any new person should not need to pay for the program of boards. So that's kind of why I wanted to go on and go through it. We're literally going to start from like the beginning of, first of all, when does someone gain access to boards? You do not want to throw this at a person that says they want to work the business and you don't want to get hyper and excited and say, okay, download this. Let's go. No, like we are going to get your friend Silver and help them earn their first paycheck. And then when they're eager and learning and still wanting to grow, we are going to introduce them to this, our onboarding system. But until they're Silver, when we're working to get Silver, and that's 3 friends when you first start, because sometimes people just accidentally go Silver because we work our booties off to get them Silver, right? And then they don't want anything to do with it. They don't want to check on their friends. And they're just gonna stay at 3, and that's okay. Some people are gonna be like that. But if you have a friend that is starting for the business, that she's excited, she is coachable, she is eager, that is when you're going to say, okay, we have a friend or we have 2 friends. I want to show you this thing. It's called Boards, it's free. Download it. And then you're going to help them walk through step by step, as they're learning, as you're being utilized in a 3-way message, where to find their resources. So I want you guys to all think, okay, this is not going to overwhelm me. This is literally to educate me and to help me be more resourceful, but to also simplify our businesses. So I'm going to screen share. And if you guys have your phones, try to open the board as I'm going through it because it will help you. I'm literally going to go and kind of like ask you guys to find things. And you might even want to have paper by you to be like, oh my gosh, like I need to go send this to this person, or like, okay, this person, I'm kind of stuck with what to do next. Maybe I need to go to step 3 and use that to follow up with her, because the system, right, if it's broken and if we're not doing it fully, we're not going to see the fruit of it. But again, I'm going to just shout out Heidi because upon reflection, when I was putting this together, she was like my guinea pig. She had just started sharing. I think she might have been like Silver, maybe senior Silver. And I was like, okay, download this board. Tell me if you can open it. We're going to work together. Like, can you copy this and paste it to me in a chat? Like, we're trying it, we're opening the keyboard, we're figuring it all out. And it was like, she's now Ruby. Like, she has girls using boards. There's a couple of you guys on here. Like, you guys are doing great. But like I said, since I'm the creator of it, sometimes I'm like, how do we need more? Are you guys overwhelmed? Do we need less? But really thinking when I was even redoing it and putting it all in one, like, how can we give this to a brand new Silver to help her be confident that she can go and help someone else, but also to be able to find the things that she needs. So I'm going to share my screen. And again, whether you have one person on your team, 20, 100, like anywhere in between, hopefully this is helpful. And hopefully this is what you see. If you don't see this, you might want to delete, like leave the board process, the new VIP process board that you have. And like, we can have you rejoin it. It looked like when we were all together, there was a few things that looked a little bit different, like it wasn't updating. So if you've been here a while, don't drop the answer to this question, but who can tell me the 4 pillars of Plexus? When you're working the business, what are the 4 pillars? I can't see the chat because I'm in screen share mode, but I'm sure someone said it. The 4 pillars are recruitment, retention, duplication, and leadership. So this process starts us at recruitment and helps us to retain, duplicate, and then leadership is, hey, we're going to lead someone else to do this exact thing. So we'll start with our recruitment. So who, I guess there's so many different people and backgrounds and, you know, where you are in your journeys, but first I'm going to start with the 2 tools for recruitment. We have the messaging templates, which I'll open. There is not a magic message, but if you are not messaging, you have to kind of step into that fear of, okay, I'm going to send some reach outs. I'm going to approach people about what I'm doing. So, like, for instance, here's a brand new person. What in the world am I supposed to say? Okay, I'm going to say this to my friends. Hey, I've been hesitant to reach out, but you've been on my heart, so I figured I should ask, right? Like, I don't have to read this all, but basic, open-ended, end with a question. So that would be the first, you know, thing to take away. As you see these ideas, tweak them to fit you. If you're not a hey girl person in person, and if you saw someone in Costco, hey girl, if you would not say that, you better not say that in your DM to them. So example, another one, you know, you had a girl make a post, now what? Idea of what to say. So if you're new to the sharing process and you're like, well, I don't really have anyone, maybe I have one friend, I'll get into that when I have a bigger team. Like, these are still really resourceful because we have follow-up ideas. I have customer service check-in. So if you have a customer that maybe has stopped, what do you say? She's now not taking her products, but she trusted you at one point. So how do you go back and address that? Or you have a person that, you know, is doing great and it's just been 3 months and you're like, hey girl, I haven't talked to you in a while. Like, how do you approach that in an open-ended way to maybe get a positive feedback, to maybe get a shout out? So know that the messages templates are there. They're not magical. Like I said, there's no magic message, but it's an idea if you feel stuck. So reaching out about the business, that might sound crazy to you guys on this call, but I didn't reach out to anyone and offer what I was doing as an opportunity for like probably 2 years. And guess what? I didn't ever have people that came into this knowing that they can make money right alongside of their journey. So, you know, coming here and finding an example, like, again, we have a lot to go over. So here's an example of the way you could ask somebody. If you are new and you are eager to make an income, you need to find some leaders who want to do this too, to make an income, to make an impact. And we have to be offering our business opportunity and not just our products. So maybe this shift tonight will be you thinking, okay, like, what if they tell me no to that? Guess what? We can always default and go back to, no worries. I just wanted to ask because I know financially, a lot of people, are looking for some margin. What about learning about the products and how they could be a blessing to you? Right? Instead of always offering the product and then being like, "Whoa, did you want to like learn about how to make money?" That seems like that might not feel genuine to you, but we can always get uncomfortable. And so there's lots of ideas here. So again, stories, reach outs, be viewing your stories of like who is following along. And that's a way just to strike conversation, and always end with an open-ended question. So then the second part of recruitment, right, is, all right, I'm sending messages. Now I have some interest. Now, how in the world do I know what to recommend this person? So here's our resources tab. So if you open up the resources, and you're going to have them at the top of the board because it's kind of like the way you would utilize it. I'm going to go through this first. This might look familiar to some of you all. It's like the mother lode of info, but I just something I put together from like health background. Again, it's not, oh my gosh, this is exactly what this person's need if they have menopause. But these are things that can help you generate like your ideas. And then when you're talking with your sponsor, they can kind of review the plan with you. But it is good to kind of think about looking at the full picture. What could they benefit from? And again, you will learn that as you go. And the point of our three-way messaging approach is for you to also have that support to bounce the idea and the recommendation with your friend. So here's a really great way. Have you guys ever got like, what is Plexus? And you're like, it's a supplement company and they have all these things, and word vomit everywhere. Anybody? I can't see. I can just like see a few faces, but I've been there and I have learned that this is like a super simple way to respond to that. Thanks so much for reaching out about Plexus, right? You're sharing in your pink drink a lot in your story, or you're saying they're doing this thing and they're like, what is it? And you're like, So, open-ended question. I'd love to ask you what is frustrating you so I can narrow down the most beneficial information and get it to you. We do not want them going to the website and browsing. We do not want them being scientific savvy and trying to research. We want to get them what they would need, show them the value, and then if they're still scientific savvy, then we'll give them something else from our board for more details. But so they're going to give you the answer to that question and hopefully answer the conversation. Sometimes they're like, everything, or I want to lose weight, right? And you're like, okay. So this is kind of like the overview of what we would need, right? What are your goals or what's frustrating you? And then we need to know about their digestion and their medications are the three main things, because regularity, constipation versus irritability. Maybe they say they're going normally, and then you're like, how often do you go? Do you mind sharing? And they say, I go twice a week. It's normal. So again, this is like why you're going to have your friend in your first messages while you're gathering this information. But then you'll start to learn, okay, like I totally can narrow this down because of X, Y, and Z. So again, this is more of like a reference. You would never ever send like, can you just fill out this quick five checklist for me to a prospect, right? In one conversation, you would bounce it back and forth, have them answer. If you don't have enough, ask the next question. But this is for you to kind of understand, why are we gathering these few bits of information? And why would we not just want to say, oh, she wants to lose weight, put her on the weight loss essentials? We need to have a little bit more of the puzzle. So that is a good reference to kind of have. And then the last thing I would say that's helpful too is if you have those people that are like not really opening up and they're like, no, I just need to lose weight. I don't know what else. I don't have time to watch a video. You're like, you can send this to say, hey, does anything from this list resonate with you? Notice how it's open-ended. It kind of gives them, oh gosh, yeah, I have a lot of those. I didn't realize all of that was linked. And then they'll open up more. So this can be another approach to helping brain get that, get them to open up. And this is all in the resources section. So hopefully that's helpful. I put the price list here. So once you're like, okay, like I think I'm coming up with an idea, then this is going to be in two separate places, but this is a quick place to look at it. And I also made this quick review. I think it's like 15 minutes of all of the Plexus products, like very brief touch points on learning tips. But do not feel like you have to study the products and know all 25 of them before you can tell anyone about it. Okay, this is detailed, but it's also, since you guys are learning and growing, and this is going to help you be more confident, that if you took one new tip about one product to better your knowledge, that's going to help you along the way. So then after we have our recommendations and our resources, we are going to go to our bundles, and we're going to say, now that I know you're struggling with energy and bloating and you're just a tired mom, I would recommend for you the reset with our Slim Active and Ease and our probiotic. Okay. Do any of you like, oh God, I don't even know what to send? So the reset is by itself, or it's with our custom bundles, which you guys like the pre-packaged. So you can come here. If it's a reset combo, you'll find the picture here. If it's one you kind of are building on your own, you'll start with the basic bundle and you'll find your picture. So there's 3 options, triplex in there. I just wanted a few options of, some people think these are wordy, but obviously the first 2, the second 2, the third 2 are the same package. And so this is where you'll find like the meat of your recommendation, usually trying to keep it as simple as possible for them. So, we're recommending this mom because blank, 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 right? So this helps you explain, but you do not have to give them all the things, all the ingredients, all the detail, but simply saying, you are looking for help with your energy. So that's going to be active. You're going to love it. Ease is going to help your bloating and your inflammation and your healing. I want to say postpartum, that's what I was thinking. And then the probiotic. So probio, we would go to our individual right here, and then we would just add on whatever piece that we're adding to that bundle. So then we would send this. So in boards, if you're new to it, you can literally be in your text message or in your Facebook message, click the little globe at the bottom left once your keyboard is enabled, and then it will pop up where you can select your folder and your picture, and it will send it right away to them. All right, so that would be the wellness bundles. And I even have no capsules. If you have someone that's just like, no way, Jose, these are options that are all 100 PV, and that's what you would try to help them start on. And you're probably going to hear sometimes like, what's that pink drink cost? Because that's what we talk about the most. And my response to that is usually, oh my gosh, thank you so much for reaching out. I love to talk about it. It's actually typically not a standalone product. It works really great with some buddies to help, but depending on your goals, would you mind to share what those are so I could show you what could benefit you? So it kind of opens up that conversation of what we just talked about and helping them find, 1 to 2 things that complement the Slim to help them feel their best. But if for some reason you have someone that just can't take pills, or, they're just not consistent, these are always good options to kind of know that are on the background. All right, I'm going to stop the screen share for just a second. Who has questions so far? Or what is one thing that you're excited about? No one? That's all right. Remember, no one is an expert. You're funny, who's that? And this is going to help you. It's not going to be something that you learn overnight, but I use this every single day. And I'm telling you, if you use it, it simplifies your life. It's easy. Like, you can send a recommendation in the car line, because guess what? It's right there at the click of a button, and then you can get back to them quicker. But it's never an emergency. Remember that. I didn't mean to just always have your phone, but instead of having to scrounge around and look through your phone and text your upline, how much does it cost? I don't know. Like, you can be more confident knowing that, okay, maybe she can just tell me where it's at in this board while I'm learning. And that's definitely something that we can do. The triplex ease. Jamie, I think there is a triplex graphic that's in that newer one. I'll click on it real quick. And then the ease, I know together. Those actually aren't Andrea's graphics, but I do think that they're very easy to read. I feel my overwhelm leaving. Yay, Leslie. Annie, Candace. Okay. Perfect, girls. Okay, so now so that was our recruiting, right? We got a friend on board. Okay, now what? Oh my God, I sent her the pretty graphic. She said yes. Oh my God, I'm getting on the phone with her. Now what in the heck do I do so that she sticks with me, right? And that she loves these things and that she tells her friend about it. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do next.
Allie, question.
Yeah.
Marissa is in here.
Yeah.
Yay. But because I wanted to introduce her to the boards, but how does she, I've only gotten like a board sent to me getting started. How does she get access to like all these boards?
If are you in the High Vibe, Marissa? That group that is it's our Facebook page. That is. If you add her to there, Callie, I just dropped the link in like a post today that she can click to join it. If you can't find it,
overwhelm her, you know?
No, you're good. Again, this is definitely like a lot all at once, but the reason I'm doing a special one is because I literally want to break it down, because sometimes people are like, oh, boards is great. And then they're like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. So they just don't use it.
I needed it too. So I'll add her right now. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. Real quick, Jamie. This one right here, I liked this one because it has our prices actually in the corner. And I used to be so weird about that, but to simplify it for someone new, are you recommending the triplex 60? If they're constipated, you better be getting them the 120. So this helps. And you might even say, oh my gosh, this is going to be so great. Don't even worry about the pricing on the right, because there's actually some extra specials right now, but this is our gut health system. It's going to break down the bad, replenish the good, and to help you with your regularity and bloating that you're mentioning, right? Like, that's your recommendation, but do not overcomplicate it, but find the simplicity of it, because sending like reset, triplex, ease, active, like all by itself, or like can be just a lot. So you'll find your group, but these are just simple ways to say, okay, what goes together and how can I make it, simple to understand. So,
hey, Allie.
Yeah.
Real quick, while you're there, that was the one that I was talking about, because I like how you have those bundles together. Like if you go back to that,
put ease on
triplex. Yeah, like I like triplex alone, but I feel like triplex plus ease is also like highly recommended.
Okay, I'm gonna
that was what I was saying.
I'm trying to actually track these down. Like who made that one to see. I did ask Andrea to make a Metaburn Slim and a Metaburn Slim Balance. Sorry, a Metaburn Balance. Oh my God, Slim and Balance only, and a Slim Metaburn Balance, in addition to the weight basics, because I don't always recommend the lean. So again, there's so many custom options, but in that case, I would do triplex, and then you will find the individual and you'll add ease to it. Like here, this one. But I do like that, and I'll see where I can find that other one from. Maybe reach out to that person. And then again, if you needed a reset or like a reset triplex or a reset, whatever, you can send like one of these. Me and Sam were talking that we didn't really know, like whatever you like the best visually, just pick one, don't be overwhelmed, but you would send, I recommend the reset for you because it's a kickstart for your weight goals that you have. And it's going to give you, a boosted start to plexus. It's a fast, and then you'll start with your routine, which is pictured below, kind of thing, and pick one of these, not all of them. Okay. Anyone else have questions about the graphics? Or I know that Leah, I believe you shared you love the ones that have the details. So those are still in a folder at the bottom. If someone is like, tell me the slim, whatever. They're very wordy, but so I kind of hid them because this would not be my first choice, just because, I mean, who wants to read all that, right? But if you have someone that's like, what's the difference between the Slim Hunger Control and the Slim Microbiome? You're going to be an expert because you're going to send them these pretty ones. And again, these are in the bottom in another folder under the ones with the nutrition right here. All right. And then on that note, if you have someone that's like, I really have concerns about the probiotic, I don't know if I can take it, or I want to talk to my doctor, right? You're going to say, no worries. I respect that. I would love to get a little bit more detailed for you so you can share this with your doctor. Wink, wink. So down in our links, I have the product info sheets, which is like the nitty gritty details of whatever scientific Sally wants to know about her probiotic. So it's all here. You would then forward this to her. But again, I would not send these on a recommendation. Like, here's what I recommend. Never. Okay. Simplified, but these are accessible. Even if you needed to say, okay, I need to double check, like, does Probio 5 have dairy or something or whatever? You're going to look at all of this and you can kind of be resourceful in these nutrition guides. If anyone has questions, I'm really sorry, I can't see the chat, so I'll check back in a second. Or just unmute yourself. But while we're on the board of the link is, again, our videos that we might use. What is the plexus reset? This is one that's very commonly like, let me get you some more details about that if you're considering it. And this lady is just like 2 minutes of beautiful, why would you do this beautiful bone broth and these wonderful restore drinks? And that's what she tells you about. This is my beautiful face that I recreated, just a little tips video. Drink your water, stay in touch, be consistent. You can send this when people are waiting for their goodies. It's just like a good welcome to Plexus, so excited, wanted to send this your way kind of thing. And then again, the videos can be helpful if the conversation is kind of at a halt, or they're, I'm just not sure if this is for me. I don't really know much about gut health. You can say, hey, can I share a quick video with you? And you can find it better here. So again, you can kind of use these as you go, or your friend that helps you might kind of direct you, hey, check in the links folder. But there's lots of common videos. And then Heather and I have made some videos just for our team to use that, how to help someone redeem their perks or how to adjust their subscription. If you can't personally get on a phone call or do it for them, you can always shoot them this, and it kind of says, it's me talking how to click, what to click. And inspired by my friend Callie, I made a, where'd it go? Oh, the share the cart process. This is now available in the links if you need to help someone share a cart. Like, you would send this to your friend to prepare it for their friend. You wouldn't send this to like your prospect. But again, lots of ideas and things, but resources that are helpful in our videos. All right, now I'm going to get to the part that I'm excited about. Okay, so you got a friend on board. I'm going to look at you guys again because I hate just staring at myself. Like, what in the world do you do, right? Super helpful. Copy, paste, crop. I could use her some too. Sorry, I'm trying to read these. I'll need help. You'll need help, Brianna? For the nosy girls, the nutrition sheets. I love it. Oh, you girls are sweet. Seriously, just go use it. That would make me even more happy because we're all going, like, we're ranking up. We're going to be just like so confident and so proud of our board and our system because it works. And sometimes we just need that belief reminder that, like, we don't need anything new. We just need to freaking go do it, right? We need to tweak one thing and just put it into action and keep doing it. Okay. All right. So you got a friend on board. You are going to build the connection. So we're starting with step 1. Okay. So they're on board. You sign them up over the phone. Or if they can't get on the phone, you're going to do the cart. But I would recommend, if you're sharing a cart, sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, you're still going to try to get them on the phone just to be like, building the connection, talking to them, reiterating what they got started with. And here's just kind of like a little thing you can practice, right? Like most people get started with a couple friends, then they would earn $300 towards their products. Would you be open to learning more about what that is or how that works? You have a referral link now. And I always say, like, you're never required to use it, but it's so cool because you actually get money back towards your products or cash. And then we pause. Sometimes we get nervous and we're like, oh, but let me know next. Like we just breeze past it, really trying to end with something like this. Well, who comes to mind that struggles with energy or sleep, or whatever they're dealing with, right? Can you think of anyone that might want to check out this reset with you? Pause. And they're going to say, my mom might, my sister, maybe once it works for me, right? So that's very common. Those are just things for us to say, okay, like we're planting the seed, we're offering, and that is going to help them, start thinking of it. And then again, if they say no, you're like, no worries. When you fall in love with your products, will you talk about them with others? That's the magic question from Christina and Brittany. If you guys don't know who those are, you will very soon. But just planting the seed on the phone, that phone connection, I think that's something that I'm really proud of our community for, because there's some teams and girls that I talk to, they literally just send carts and have no connection with their teams on a phone call. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get everyone on a phone call. So after you sign them up, there's this quick text you can send that you fill in their password and their email. Of course, if they sign up themselves, you might just send how to check your account. Go to Plexus, use the account you signed up with, download the app. Your subscription is set for $11.24. You're reminding them, you're putting them in our team page. If you're on my team, we have a support chat. So just like the day of or the next day, you're going to just give them the stuff they need. So I have found that this is super useful to have in your text or your messenger thread, because if you're 2 months out or 2 weeks out and they're like, hey girl, I want to change my active. And you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to remember to do that. You can literally scroll up in your conversation, probably do it on your phone. And it's very, very helpful for them and for you, because that's something that, again, is just good customer service and helps them know what the heck they're doing. And then again, if you have not talked on the phone, you might send them this in a text, because you're like, oh my God, I clammed up. I got nervous. I didn't say anything about the link. You're going to mention it here when you send this text that night, or that next day. Again, asking the question, and they might say, not right now, or they might not respond at all. But guess what? You're asking. And that's one part that I think some people overlook because they're nervous. And those people used to be me. So no judgment, but that can be a huge change in your business. Okay. So then again, another little graphic for share cart if you needed help there. But okay, now number 2. Now is that time if you forgot to ask on the phone, or maybe you asked and it's been 2 weeks and now they have a result, right? They did their reset, they love it. And you're like, oh my God, I'm hot and sweaty. She told me no. Can't ask her again. There's no way. Has anyone ever felt that? Drop a 1 if you have. All right. So we're just going to kick the fears right now, and we're going to crush them. And we're going to remember that excitement is contagious, that people trust their friends, that everyone has a story starting the day that they start Plexus. And we don't know what they're going to say unless we ask. And the only thing in the middle of the yes is our silly mind and something in our brain telling us that I don't even know, right? So whatever fear you have, if you have not been asking your friends this question, I want you to drop it now, okay? So this is one that I really like to ask. And there's 2 or 3 options of how to bring it up, right? If you're like, oh, I don't even know what to say, I just don't ask because I feel weird, right? So read one of these, tweak it in a way, make it feel genuine to you, and accept the awkwardness that you're going to feel because you're learning, right? So this is an idea. And you're literally saying that I'm a huge believer in asking and helping people offset the cost. The one word I cringe, and the phrase I cringe, and I don't know why, I want to help you get your products paid for. The only reason I don't say that and don't recommend saying that is because I literally had someone say, oh my gosh, I have 3 friends. I still have to pay for my products. Like, I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like, yes, you do. You get money from Plexus, but if you still have to order them. And they were like, oh. So anyways, lessen the stress, help cover the cost. So this one's really great, really, simple, but feel how easy that is, right? I know you're excited to get started on your journey and stop running on E. Just a thought, would you be open to sharing a post about your excitement to get started? I'll help you, don't worry, right? And we can see if it resonates with your friends. I think you'd be surprised who might be looking for help and may want to do this with us. All right, I'm going to show my face again. If you guys got that message, would you be like, oh my God, she's weird? No, probably not. You'd be like, oh, well, sure, I'll try it. Right? So you'd be like, oh my God, now you're like, I have palpitations. She said yes. What in the heck do I do now? Right? You're like, she said she'd post. Is anyone like frozen? All right. So now there's a couple of things that can help you send her a post. And that would be the next step, which is in our step 3, make a shout out post. And so again, if you forgot to ask when people signed up, or maybe you've been here for a few months and you just want to revisit this idea, you've been avoiding it or you've been hesitant to do it, go back to that again and say, hey, I know you weren't ready at the beginning, but now you're loving blank. What are your thoughts on trying it now or sharing an update, right? So again, ways to ask, and kind of, if you think of anyone right now and you're like, okay, this person told me that they were noticing less bloating or more energy. And I just said, oh my gosh, that's great. Write her name down and you're going to go and ask her and you're going to do this step. Because even if you get a no or a no reply, you are taking action and you're asking. So that's going to empower you to do it again. All right. So now we're going to get a shout out because we're calling it, we're setting it into existence, and we can totally do this because people need what we have. So there's 4 options. Don't send them 4 options. You look at these options and you pick which one you like, what sounds like your friend, and you're going to tweak it. So here's an idea. Actually, I don't like that one because it's kind of like summary. So here's a mom one. I don't have to read it all out. But you're going to say, thanks, Allie, for introducing me to this natural system. Blah, 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 blah. If she's in school, you're going to put something about a busy working, whatever. If you work night shift, so you tweak it to fit your friend. Don't say, hey, here's a template, make it fit you. You're going to do that little tweak for your friend. Here's another idea. Just want to give my friend Allie a big thank you. I decided to finally do something for me. I don't typically share things about my health, but I've been following her journey. Here's what, you're going to fix that. She's been freed from these things. So 4 ideas for shout outs. And then voila, you're going to send it to her and you're going to say, okay, girl, I'm so excited. Why don't we share this tonight? And just put a picture of yourself or your kiddos by the Christmas tree and let me know when you post it, right? So we got to give them that tip. If they're like, no, I don't have any pictures of myself. No way, Jose. Guess what? We have ideas. We can just send them one of these. They're basic, but they're at least a pink drink. And it's not the package that's weird and awkward, right? If they're doing a reset, you might do one of these, or I could probably refresh these a little bit, but giving them an idea, but also encouraging them. Show your face. People want to see you. If they have a pink drink picture, great. One of my tricks is to actually send a pink drink of myself and say, Happy Friday. Send it back, right? And then you're like, oh my gosh, you look so cute and you have your pink drink. Why don't we share this, right? Won't. You already got their post picture. But a couple ideas there. If they're doing a reset, here's a reset idea. If you have a current product lover and they're not just new to starting, again, idea. And here's a really good one too. Okay, so you hit that roadblock of, man, it all sounds so good, but I just can't afford it right now. Offer the opportunity. No worries. I would love to help you share your excitement about what you just learned. So maybe we could find a few friends to do this with you. So here's an idea for someone that has not started yet that will do what's called a proactive post. So they're putting it out there, right? And you're going to do it just like you would help them if they're on board, but you're just seeing if they can help a few friends literally the same day or week that they're getting their products. If they have a friend, they are going to be so much more excited. Am I right? So sometimes we get like, roadblock and we're like, oh, okay, we'll check with you in a month, but we want to just please offer this, right? And they say, no, thanks. No worries. You still check back. But what if they said yes, right? You might have someone that starts for the business. And honestly, I kind of was reviewing this and I don't love the big, long, lengthy list. But if you are like that and you would rather take that out and use this as a picture with them, I would always recommend not just this and the words, put their face, put this with it, or put their face, check the comments for a list of things that you could be struggling with, right? And you got to teach them that, but put this in the comment of their post. I'm going to see you guys again. Does that make sense? Did anyone know that existed? Those question or ideas for people that haven't started yet. Yay, Leslie, I'm so happy you're getting use out of it. All right, so shout outs. I want you guys to DM me. I don't care if you're on my team or not. And tell me when you use something from this board in the next 24 hours, okay? Tell me what it is. And tell me when you get a yes or a no when you ask somebody for a shout out. That's your challenge, okay? Ellie is rocking it. She actually had a friend that just crushed her first reset. She's been asking people for shout outs. I just saw you go back and ask someone who made a post to make another. Yes, tell me when you get ignored, Callie. Go for no, all right? No's mean you're doing action, because no's, you find yeses when you go for no, but you can't expect yeses. And if you get a no response, it means nothing about you. It means no, do not get emotionally attached to the outcome of your message, but you have to ask. And I swear, every time you do it, you're gonna be like, I did it. I asked that chicken lister. I asked my sister-in-law. She's told me no 80 times, right? I just asked her again. I don't care. I'm proud of myself. So there you go, Annie. All right, next step. Okay, so we got our shout out, right? My friend Sally said she was going to post. I sent her the post. Now, sometimes I think that there's a gap. I'm just prospecting that maybe we are like skipping our next step. Okay, so we got the shout out. Now what, right? So, all right, Sally, you have 10 likes on your post, girl. Here's what you're going to say to those people that like the post. Follow up from the post. DM the people that liked it. Guess what? Here's the message you can send to them. So you say this to Sally. Sally, I know that it might feel weird, but you put yourself out there and I'm so proud of you. Real quick, would you care to send a quick message to the people that liked it? That is a sign that maybe they need some help, and we never know unless we ask, right? So sometimes we're just like, hey, Sally, send this message. And they're like, ugh, I don't know. But we kind of got to like warm them up, right? I'm so proud of you for doing that. And you might think, why in the world would you do it and then not do the next part? But think of them as like, they don't have a clue what we're doing, but we are pouring belief into them and we are loving on them and we are showing them the next step, right? So think of it as like a baby step, like piece by piece. You never want to just say like, okay, now we're going to send all the likes and all the comments and you're going to start group messages with whoever's interested, because they're not going to do that step unless we spoon feed them. So, Sally's friend Jenny says, Sally, what is this? We do not want Jenny responding, it's Plexus, it's called Slim on the comment, right? So you're going to tell her, go to the DM with your friend Jenny that's asking for info, and here's what you're going to say. Well, so piece by piece by piece, I would send that first. You're going to check it in, an hour, or do not go like 3 days and be like, oh my God, I forgot that she posted. You want to watch it like a hawk, and you're going to do the DMs, right? And then if they're like, okay, my friend Sally's ready for a chat and she doesn't ever start it, you're going to say, hey, send this to Sally so we can be connected. And she's going to put you in a 3-way, and then you're going to be a rock star friend that's going to help her. Okay. So again, some people can do this and it's great when you're like, oh my gosh, she just did it. Like she started 3 messages. Some people are literally going to be like holding your hand, send the message, but think of how you can simplify it for them. And so again, your friend starts a message. Here's what you say, how to open the conversation. Okay. So the follow-up, I would say no longer than 24 hours after a post is made for your friend, you should be giving them this guidance. And maybe they are like, well, I'm nervous, right? What are some hesitations that you guys might have gotten from someone that made a post? Anybody have do one this week? Getting used to being left on red. Again, don't let your brain, Marissa, tell you that you're doing something wrong, that you're being weird. You're offering someone health and happiness and hope. They can say yay or nay, right? But they're going to follow you. They're going to watch you. Marissa and Kelly are cross-stitching. Yes, I love it. No one. I have no one interested. No one, like your friend is saying no one's interested from a post, or they're not posting because they don't think anyone's interested. The post and said she was hesitant to message people. Annie's so common. Okay. So are you feeling stuck with what to go back and say to her? Because we're going to use the feel, felt, found. All right. I'm going to give you an example. Annie, I know exactly how you feel. I remember when I made my first post, I was like sweating. I felt so weird. But what I found is that people that liked it, sometimes I didn't realize they were struggling until I reached out to them. And I was actually surprised at how many people that I haven't talked to since high school, like were opening up about what they were dealing with. That's awesome, Annie. So I always say, if you send the follow-up, right, and you're like, hey, send this to the people that liked it, and then they don't say anything to you, right? And you're like, I don't know if she sent it. What do I do? Go back and you say, hey, I know life's busy. Did you have a second to send that message to all 14 people that liked your post? She's gonna be like, maybe no response, right? And I usually say, I know how I felt at first. I used to pick and choose who I thought would be interested, but what I found is that I can't make that decision. I just have to ask. And so when they like it, it's just kind of like a knock on the door that says maybe they're interested. That's not weird, is it? It's not salesy. But the pick and the choose, people are doing that left and right because that's what our brain tells us. Oh, she can't afford it. Oh my God, I'm not messaging her. She's just supporting me. How do you know? You never freaking asked. Your post likely says, if you're interested, let's chat, right? So you never know. And if they are, no one gets hurt and they can just be following along and supporting you. But I think that help, that's the first step out of the fear part that your friend is probably feeling, because you probably felt that same way too. So like I said, hey, I encourage you to go ahead and reach back out to all of the people. You never know. And even if you're just thanking them for the support and then saying, hey, did anything stick out to you? Or would you be open to learning more? You never know who's going to say yes. So that next step is the post or the follow-up. Don't spend other. Yeah. So many people you may think can't afford or maybe interested will be in your corner. Amen. Or the people that need it the most, or your BFF that's going to tell you you're crazy and that it's not worth it, right? Like, we don't know. So the first step of being successful in what we do is knowing that you can do it, believing you can do it, and being okay with probably getting a lot of no's along the way. But you're so right. We can't make that judgment for somebody and use that feel, felt, found. Like, I know exactly how you feel. I was so nervous to message people because I didn't want to come off as pushy. What I found is that all I was doing was offering something that I knew helped me that could potentially help them. All right, next step. We're getting there. And I'll wrap it up because it's almost been an hour. You girls are awesome for getting on here. Okay, so now you did the post and you're like, well, she didn't go silver. She's got one friend. Now what do I do? Right? She got a friend, or we got a couple conversations. You might be going back to this messaging board and doing some follow-ups with their prospect people that, whatever, XYZ. We need to invite them to an event. Guess what? Go to your messaging templates, invite them to our wellness event. There's one in there. But the next thing, if someone is like, yeah, I'll do whatever I need to do, I want to get, that $300 you told me about, you are going to help them brainstorm. So you're going to help them outside of their box, ask their mom, sister, and friend, and maybe their sister laughed at them. So they're like, I don't know anyone else, right? I don't know anybody else. So you send them these. I'm going to help you just brainstorm. Write down the first 5 to 10 people that come to mind when you read this. And again, this is just, you are guiding them piece by piece. They've posted, you've got their buy-in. They're like, posting again. We're still just kind of hanging out, waiting on what's going on. We're going to help them to send those first few messages, right? So these are the things that you're going to help them do. Okay. Don't say 50, right? So you're going to say 10. I would say, who are the first 5 to 10 people that come to mind? Send me a list when you get it. All right, got my list. They send me a list. You're like, all right, now what? Guess what? Here's a message. Okay, work through those 5 people. Here's a message to send. Or this one other. Thought maybe you'd want to try to do it, XYZ. Yeah, girl, I'd like to learn about it. Insert friend with a 3-way. Okay, but this is you guiding them to think out of their box and message a few friends. And the last option is here. This is an emoji, I guess it's because I'm on my computer. Oh yeah, I have IBS. Can it help that? Oh, it really can. Is there anything else that you're dealing with? All right, so making your list. Is there anyone that comes to your mind from your team or your conversations that maybe had made a post and you're like, oh, now what? Maybe look at where we can go from here. If we forgot to follow up, it doesn't mean just forget about it. You're going to say, hey, I know it's been a little bit. You're going to go look at that post and you're going to do that follow up. And even if it's been 3 days, you want to go back and look at the comments and the likes and ask, hey, I saw these people liked it. Have you talked to them? Let's reach out to them today. Okay. And then the last thing for your friend, if they've made their list, they've started to brainstorm, you're going to ask about a wellness event. Hey, I wanted to reach out. One of the things I really love to do is, sorry, I was looking at a different one. I never really realized how important gut health was. Wait, sorry, this was the invite once they say yes. So you're going to ask your friend if they want to have an event, and here's how you do it. And oftentimes we put it out there and they might be like, I don't know, no one's interested. This would be a reason and a focal point for them to, funnel people in and actually be reaching out about this event to get them in there. We have a couple lives, whether you do a wellness chat forum or a group, which shout out to Callie and Marissa who had one tonight. Amazing. And I'm excited to go catch up in there. It looks like they had quite a few people in there, but this is going to funnel them in there and it's going to be personalized for that friend of yours. So maybe your goal this week is to ask someone for one of these. I asked 3 people, actually 5 the other day, and I got 1 yes. And we're penciling in next Wednesday, I think. So, and this is what I sent. Actually, no, I sent this one. No, I didn't. Hold on. Thought I put it in here. Anyways, it was for a downline. It was a level 2 that I asked because it's been a little bit. But anyways, once they say yes, here is something you will give them to invite to that event for them. All right, and then the last thing would be our follow-up system. So whether you have 2 friends, 1 friend, 22 friends, what in the world do I do to help these people, right? So you're going to start them in a message with your sponsor, your friend, someone to help while you are getting your confidence boosted. I recommend printing this PDF off because that's how I learned, and it's still like golden. This is from Burke Hemingway. It's a great, a lot of you are nurses. You guys like the details and the whys, and it just like helps you understand why you're asking these questions. And, this is helping us assess their detox from a text message and not just, hey, how's it going? Because if we just say, how are you doing with your products? That's very, open conversation. Oh, I'm doing fine. But what are you loving? That's going to sprout things. How much water? That's going to tell us about their hydration. So long, yada, yada, yada. this is like a whole nother training in itself. But the one thing I did want to bring up is I added these getting started plans. This is my way of doing it. It's not the always, but if you are newer and you're like, okay, like I need a start plan, start here. And if you added something to the triplexities, you may just pencil it in, right, and add it to there. But here's roughly how I start someone on routines. And there's one for constipation, there's one for irritability. And these are just like the basics. There's so many variations of what could be, should be, what add on, but this is a good start. So I don't know if some of you guys might not have seen this. I just put this in here because this used to be its own board, but I thought that this would be helpful for getting our friends started correctly. But again, if you're newer and you were like, hey, will you just check this plan? Here's what this person started on, send it to your friend or whoever helped you recommend, and make sure that you have a good something. This is something to physically send them because we don't want them going by the bottles. And the last thing would be the follow-up template. I did touch on this on the team call, but once someone starts, putting them in your planner for 8 weeks of check-in is going to help them reach that 60 to 90 day mark without falling off. So these are things to, kind of help you. What do I ask, right? What's week 1? Not just how are you doing, like what capsules are you taking and when. Week 2, whoop. What's your bathroom habits like? Assesses if they need adjustments. So just again, open-ended questions. You're kind of touching on detox, seeing if they're having any of these things. And again, all through 8, I'm gonna stop that. Make it fit them, make it fit how you talk, but that can be like a start of, okay, now, because you're not going to be asking the same things on week 2 that you are on week 5 and 6. You're probably going to be doing some adjusting or, coaching through detox kind of things. Whereas the first week is usually consistency, water, making sure they're taking what you told them, making sure they upped their probiotic like they should have, and those kinds of things. Devin is having her wellness event. Drop it. Oh, thanks, Ellie, for getting on. She's not on anymore. So who has questions, or is there anything that you want to pull back up and go through? I think that was it. So again, recruitment, retention, duplication, and leadership. We talked about the messages and the resources. The retention is the plugging them into our groups. And again, groups is like our Rise Collective is just welcome. And it's just basic, actually minimal information. It used to be a lot of like ads but we just try to have it as our community, and we're adding value with some information. We're going to be doing like little once a week videos, just welcoming them, kind of doing like a detox education, or I don't really know. Remember to drink your water, kind of like sporadic. And so retention, follow-up guide, mapping them out. If you are new and I'm going to shout out Callie because I don't even know how many people she's helped start in a month, but you're going to feel scattered. You have to write their names down because you're not going to remember everybody. We don't want to forget anyone. Okay. So even myself, like I still 5 years later have a written handbook, a written note, and these are all my people that I need to check on. And sister, if she ain't written on there, it's not that I don't love her or care about her. I'm going to forget about her. So she goes on my planner. And if you're new, you want to start your connection with your friend. You're going to do your check-in with your friend. So she can say, hey, if they aren't giving us info, if they are giving us negative info, what do we do? What do we tweak? They're pooping their brains out. You don't just, figure it out. We want to be there forever for each other. So, and then our duplication, right, is our sharing, our shout out, our follow up, our messages, our messenger. And then our leadership is, oh my gosh, you have someone that is excited because you planted that excitement in them. Now you're going to say, oh my gosh, well, we have a really simple system. Let me show you about boards. And you're going to share this with them. And they're going to do the same things that you're doing with your help. starting with a three-way message. So, anything else for tonight? I love it. Bedtime. I know. Thanks for getting on. I know it's an hour of your night, but I was excited to do this because I'm like, this is going to help us increase our intensity and our consistency and take out the overwhelm. Like, this is not hard. It's simple, but it takes consistency with doing these things to compound to build our teams and help the other people do it too. So, all right, I'm going to end it. And never hesitate to be like, hey, where can I find this in the board? And I will direct you there. No problem at all.